Hello once again, Star Wars and Unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba's Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba. So how are you guys doing? Everybody doing okay out there? I mean, I know we've been watching lots of news that's not always so comforting, and it seems like we are kind of in this self-quarantine for what seems to be going to be a longer and longer haul, and yet, you know, we have divisiveness among those of us who feel that, you know, the self-quarantine is a necessity, and we have to hunker down, and, you know, in order for to flatten the curve, as they say. And other folks are saying, you know what, this is really bad for business. We need to get out there. We need to, you know, we're all going stir crazy. We need to, you know, have our freedoms to go out and do what we need to do. Maybe these strict policies are too strong. You know, understanding about, you know, keeping school out and distance learning and all that other stuff, but in large crowds. But maybe why close the parks if people can just walk and keep their distance, put the masks on? So it's a very questionable time. There's lots of unknown answers. So I thought I would just take a few minutes before we do a kind of a quick unboxing, was just to kind of talk about, you know, what does this mean for collectors? What does this mean for people who have this hobby? Well, you know, there are a lot of things that affect this coronavirus has affected everybody to some degree. Family, friends, you know, everybody is starting to get at least some people that have been really affected by this. So my answer to that is, from the point of view of a collector, it really hasn't changed much. Okay, we're you know, collecting is not an outdoor activity aside from maybe going on toy hunts. That has kind of become something you shouldn't really be doing. But, you know, ordering online is something I suppose you could do. That's where it might have affected us to some degree when it comes to getting new collectibles in. I do want to point out that if you can take a break from actual purchases right now, I recommend that you do so. Number one, I'm sure a lot of you are doing that anyway if you've become unemployed, or if you're not 100% sure how long your job's going to last in the shelter in place. You know, those are reasons to maybe start, you know, holding on to what money you do bring in and using that for essentials. But more importantly than that is that we have postal workers, people from UPS, people from FedEx that are risking their lives going out and making deliveries. I would like to think that those deliveries are more important things like medicine and food and, you know, products that people need while they're sheltering in place, maybe work-related items that they need to have in their house. Buying toys and collectibles right now doesn't seem like much of a priority. Having said that, if you have something that you've ordered and you're making payments on, like a high-end collectible, that's one thing. But, you know, it's supposed to be coming in the mail. But if you are just looking at Hasbro and whatever, I mean, folks, there's not even that much coming out right now as it is without this virus. So I really feel like this is a good time to just hunker down and let's not add to the craziness of the Postal Service and FedEx and UPS and all the delivery services that are scrambling to get product to people. Let's take a step back so that they can focus on the things that really matter, food and medicines and things of that nature. Ultimately, it's up to you, but I'm going to take a break from that for now. But that's okay, because I think you can actually nurture your collection. You saw in these last few videos, I've done some lighting videos, lighting the collection, where I had some display cases. I was going to, in fact, I actually started recording a video where I was going to do that to the same thing with my bookcases. Unfortunately, the connectors, you know, you can cut these strip lights and connect them, wasn't working out too well for me. I'm not an electrician, so I was trying to figure out how to do it. It wasn't working. I wasn't having the greatest amount of success. It was definitely something where I'd have to learn how to be a soldering engineer, which I'm not. So I opted not to do it in lieu of maybe some other things. So later on down the road, you know, I mentioned in previous episodes, you know, thinking about finding different ways to display, maybe looking into some more glass cases because they are so much better and they keep the material, they keep the product from getting too dusty. So those are going to be things that I'm looking into. And maybe we'll do some episodes with that eventually down the road. But one of the things that I do want to say is this is a great time if you're home and you have some time. You obviously get your work done if you're working from home. Help your children with their homework, obviously, and things of that nature. But once you're done with that and you have some time, you know, rather than binge watch another Netflix series, why don't you nurture your collection? What does it mean, nurture? Not, it's not a living thing, but you can take things out, maybe do some of your own unboxing, rearrange how you collect. I know some people that collect and display things all based on certain characters or certain genres, certain films, the Clone Wars, the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy. Do something different. Check it out. Go through your collection. Decide if everything there still means as much to you as it did when you bought it. You might decide that there's a couple of things that you just don't want to collect anymore, and instead try to put them in a yard sale and eventually in the future, or sell on eBay or something of that nature again in the future, and just see what see if you have if your tastes are changing and you're liking it. This is a great time to do a reevaluation of that. So that's some things I recommend. Now, in my case, as I said, I'm taking a break from ordering anything new. However, there were a few items that I've been making payments on that are getting ready to ship. I'm not going to stop them just because I think, Hot Toys and Sideshow, they would like to get everything out of their warehouses if possible too. I don't want to hold them up and be, and it doesn't matter anyway. It all kind of does it automatically. So, but even then, there's not a lot of things like right coming up now. I think I have one thing shipping in August, and I have something from Hasbro that's, I think, shipped yesterday. So beyond that, I don't think there's not much going on. So be prepared. The newer episodes of Darth Tuba will be more shelf talk based and less new unboxings, or unboxing some old stuff. As you can see here, I left all this stuff kind of stacked here from the What Should I Unbox episode. Well, I'm going to unbox all this at some point, so that'll be stuff to look forward to. What I have today is some very odds and ends stuff. I have a couple of these Lego Star Wars pens, which I thought were really interesting and weird. And I think I want to do an unboxing of those, or at least most of those. I have 4 of them. And then I have this other thing, which is essentially the Jedi Force, which was just one of these series that came out. This is a Preschool, so this is definitely not for my age. But I just, when new items come out like that, I like to collect. Sometimes I'll collect the series, and then I'll sell it off, except for one. I usually keep one for kind of posterity. And I love the droids, so R2 and 3PO were kind of universal throughout the trilogies. So I thought we would do that. All right, these are kind of, obviously they're very misshapen, and these things were actually in my display cases when I watch the 3PO. And I was taking them out, and I kind of looked at them and said, you know what, these things are kind of cute. So, and they're a different size, and yeah, I know there's going to be, they keep coming up with different ways to do it, but different ways to bring out the same characters, and I get that. I don't really mind it. Some people get upset about it. I mean, I've been watching and listening to a lot of, with more time on my hands like you, I've been watching a lot of, collecting channels and listening to some podcasts, and there's some great ones out there. You can go out and find them, but I always thought that, I like it when they open up new stuff, open up new items for people to collect. So, all right, so we got R2 and 3PO, Preschool edition. Now, it says that 3PO can say stuff, but I have a feeling, yeah, this looks like if 3PO is going to say anything, he's going to have to, we're going to have to change his battery, because I don't think, it's really just not even going to say anything. His eyes are supposed to light up, so sadly, that doesn't happen. But here we go. We got 3PO with these massive arms. I feel like he's going to, take on New York like Godzilla. And look at the size of these feet. Holy cow. That is and it's got a weird kind of swivel. Put R2 down for a minute. It's got a weird kind of swivel. They swivel outwards, so if you put them together, it's almost like doing a split, which is kind of odd. I'm not quite sure what it is. It's got that hard plastic, 5.5 POA, no big deal. But again, I just liked, it's almost like a snapshot in time. Like, this is something that Hasbro and Preschool were coming up with, trying to bring Star Wars to light for a younger audience, or, a preschool audience, which I think was good. R2, he's pretty simple. He just moves his legs up and down, straight up. There he is. There's a little guy. All right. Are these my favorite versions? Absolutely not. They are, I just enjoy kind of like putting them out there as, this is something that came out at a certain point, year being 2004. And it's funny to think, 43 years now we're on. 43 years of Star Wars, 42 years of Star Wars collecting, right, when it comes to action figures. And, you know, they've come up with a lot of different ideas. And why wouldn't they? I mean, you know, they've done the same thing with DC, with Marvel, with He-Man, with other things. So I like that they mix them up. I know some collectors are like, no, just focus on the 3 3/4 inch for us die-hard collectors. And you know what? That's great. Love that. And I do hope that someday we get that Canto Bight, you know, menagerie of aliens, or the Maz Kanata's castle playset with all the aliens. I'm not holding my breath for it, but it'd be great if they could start putting out some battle packs with those, you know. But, you know, let's face it, for the line to stay alive, they need to keep pushing the original characters, R2 and 3PO, Luke, Han, Leia, Obi-Wan, old and young, okay, Vader, Anakin maybe, from Clone Wars. They got to appeal to the audience. And toys are you know, I know some people say, you know, that's not true. Toys can be an adult thing, and yeah, they can. But it costs a lot more money, and it takes a lot more time to make figures, which are adult, which can also be an adult collectible, as opposed to, say, trading cards. Trading cards take no time to make. Trading cards are quick, easy, a few photos, a few stats on the back, and you've got your collection. Okay, these take a little bit more. So, you know, when you see something like this is the result of like a year to 2 years of work from designers. So that's another reason. I love Star Wars. This is a snapshot. All right, so can you find them out there? Probably. I think they made a handful. Maybe I don't know exactly how many they made. This box has, you can see besides R2 and 3PO, you can see they also have Vader, Chewie, Luke Skywalker with some weird thing on his head, and a droid. Vader has a little droid with him. That's kind of funny. All right, so that's that. And now let's talk about these. These are these Lego Writing System Connect and Build pen. And I believe these came out around the time of Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. And I always thought they were interesting just because, well, I think it's just my wife is a wonderful pen enthusiast. She just loves pens. Every time we go to a hotel or to a vacation place, she always grabs a pen. So when I saw these, I thought, these are kind of cute. And she teaches, so I gave her one. But there was a couple of ones. We have 3PO. We have young Anakin, or, you know, Anakin as the, you know, right before become Vader. We have a clone trooper. And then, totally out of left field, we have Vader. He doesn't become Vader until, you know, Episode 3. But whatever. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to leave Vader in the package. Just because, again, this is a really cool, different kind of half-cylindrical kind of package. I like the packaging. It's a hard plastic. So I'm going to keep that around. Okay? But as for the rest, I'm going to open them up. I think, you know, Lego has done some pretty cool things. But all right, so we got this little soft plastic thing, and there's your pen. Ooh, it's kind of interesting. You know, it's a cool pen. Now, this thing comes with, like, I'm just going to look at this and see, is there like a instruction for this? Like, there's other stuff that comes with the pen. Oh, it looks like you can get, here's a collection of other ones you can get. You can get, I got 4 of them. You can get R2 and you can get Jango Fett as well. So that's pretty cool. And it looks like the only other thing in here are these extra pieces, which I'm kind of confused about, to be honest with you. Like, there's just all these little Riblies or whatever. I guess you can add it to them? All right, let me see here. There's an instruction. Oh my god, there's actual instructions. Wow, look at that. All right, so what do we got here? We got... Oh, it looks like you... Oh. It's upside down. You can... Oh my god, there's instructions like anything else. So I guess you... What do? You... How to extend... Oh, that's how to extend and retract the paint clip. How to change heads. Oh, I see. You can... Looks like there's a... You can... Oh, my goodness. Oh, it looks like... I don't even know. And I'm like looking at these things. I mean, do you add them? Do you add on? They're like little Legos. Do you just put them on top? I don't know. It doesn't say how to change beads. So I guess you... Do you twist it? Oh. Oh, I see. Oh my goodness, this is complicated. I don't know if I want to open these up. Oh, I see. All right, so basically what you can do... All right, I see. I'm getting it now. Essentially, what you can do is you can change out all the items that you see up here. All right, you obviously have the character, which you don't really want to change. But then you have all of these other little pieces that you can kind of upgrade and change and add to, you know. And there's like a little feed. It's almost like, oh, don't go away. It's almost like a Pandora bracelet. You can run your own stuff through the pen itself. I'm not going to change it. All right. I like the pen as is. What I am going to do, though, is since this container is essentially just a... oops. Let me get this. This container is a hard plastic. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this plastic. I got to grab my... I'll get it in there later. To just store all of the other extra heads. And that way, if I ever want to sell it or whatever, I'll just sell it as a set. All right, so let's open the other two here. We got Anakin. And again, sometimes it's just a matter of, I mean, it's kind of cool. And I said, I've always loved the minifigs. Always thought the minifigures were great, and I love that they make magnets out of them. They make keychains out of them, and these little small knickknacks. And I think for a lot of reasons. I mean, part of it is just I love, and you just twist and turn. Does the pen work? And the pen doesn't work, but that's probably because it's been sitting in dry weather for a very long time, so it probably all dried out. You can very easily replace a pen if you really wanted to do it. But the thing is that anything that's small and doesn't take up a lot of cost, that makes a lot of different things. I know somebody who's been collecting, finding Lego minifigures and making them into earrings. I mean, what a cool idea. They're a little dangly and weird, but hey, to each their own, right? I like the fact that Anakin is yellow because, little Lego trivia. I think Star Wars was the first licensing that Lego did where they changed the color of the characters. The characters used to always be yellow. It didn't matter what you were doing. They were yellow. But I think Star Wars was the first licensee, and they didn't want to have all the faces yellow, so they started making the faces different colors. White, black, whatever the colors were of the person. And now that has since become like the norm for most of the licensee. You can still get ones, and that's why I like that they made an Anakin out of yellow, which I thought was interesting. Probably because they didn't get Anakin. Sometimes the Lego faces are kind of, they have lines on them, they have like scowls. This is pretty much just a Lego minifigure, yellow, generic face that they just made to sort of look like Anakin with the color hair and stuff. So probably not done by the people who fully run the Star Wars thing. All right, last but not least, as I said, I'm not going to open Vader, but lastly, I am going to open the Clone Trooper. Speaking of Clone Trooper, I know I've been talking a little bit, but if you haven't watched, here's the Clone Trooper. And another nice thing about it is it got this kind of rubber feel to it, and it's like a nice grip, so that helps too. These actually would be really good pens. They have the little cushiony part here. But speaking of this, if you have not seen the Disney Plus revisitation of Clone Wars, watch it. At the time of this episode, about 2 days after, I think their 9th episode, it's basically the newer episodes, the episode where they start the Siege of Mandalore. Really good, really good. And they even opened it differently and set it up differently. It definitely has an old school Star Wars feel to it. So get a chance. And clones are heavily featured. So pretty cool stuff. And it's got Clone Trooper written on it. Just they all have kind of a title head and a little thing. It's kind of neat. It's a neat little concept. All right, so that'll do it for this kind of low-key episode of Darth Tuba Stars Unboxing Show. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. We're up to 4,700 subscribers. Awesome. Thank you so much. Welcome to our new subscribers. And to those new subscribers, pass the word on to other people. Let's get more subscribing going on. I think part of it is that we're all home kind of looking for stuff to watch, so yay. But there will be more episodes. There will be some new product. There will be some old product that we will open up, and there will be plenty of shelf talk, okay? And if you want a live episode, I've done a couple. I haven't had a lot of live viewership, which is totally cool. I don't really care. But if you want it, let me know, and we'll try to set something up. Maybe we'll schedule something ahead of time when we do like a Q&A or something. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and may the Force be with you.